News Channel 15 presents The Film Reel, the talk show where we discuss everything going on in the world of movies and television, with hosts Bryce West and John Freeland. This is The Film Reel. Hello and welcome into The Film Reel, the talk show where we discuss everything going on in the world of movies and television. I'm your host, Bryce West, alongside John Freeland, as always. And speaking of as always, we got a awesome show for you guys today. So let's kick it off right now with the box office report.
Coming in at number 5 in the box office is Monster Hunter, starring Milla Jovovich. When Lieutenant Artemis and her loyal soldiers are transported to a new world, they engage in a desperate battle for survival against enormous enemies with incredible powers. Based on the video game by Capcom, the film brought in $735,000, dropping 10.9% from last weekend. For The Film Reel, I'm Kyler Gaiman.
Coming in at number 4 in the box office is The Marksman, starring Catherine Winnick and Liam Neeson. A rancher on the Arizona border becomes the unlikely defender of a young Mexican boy, desperately fleeing the cartel assassins who pursued him into the U.S. The film brought in $1.2 million, dropping 38.3% from last weekend. For The Film Reel, I'm Drew Poughton.
Coming in at number 3 in the box office is Wonder Woman 1984, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. Diana must contend with a work colleague and businessman whose desire for extreme wealth sends the world down a path of destruction after an ancient artifact that grants wishes goes missing. The film brought in $1.3 million, dropping 18.8% from last weekend. For The Film Reel, I'm Eli Grimes.
Coming in at number 2 in the box office is The Croods, a new age starring Nicolas Cage, Emma Stone, and Ryan Reynolds. The prehistoric family The Croods are challenged by a rival family, the Bittermans, who claim to be better and more evolved. The film brought in $1.8 million, rising 1.2% from last weekend. For The Film Reel, I'm Branson Beard.
Coming in at number 1 in the box office is The Little Things, starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. Kern County Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon is sent to Los Angeles for what should have been a quick evidence-gathering assignment. Instead, he becomes embroiled in the search for a serial killer who is terrorizing the city. The film opened with $4.7 million. For The Film Reel, I'm Mallory Burton.
Thanks to those 5, as always, for bringing us the box office report for this week. John, we've got some interesting things coming in this week. The Marksman went from number 1 all the way down to number 4 in 1 week. It opened, if I'm not mistaken, last week or the week before. And now it has gone from 1 all the way down to 4. So that is a pretty huge drop. It went down 38.3%. And The Little Things, not surprising, huge cash. Rami Malek, Denzel Washington, Jared Leto coming in at number 1 with $4.7 million. The Croods still at number 2. Wonder Woman is still at number 3. And Monster Hunter rounds off the list at number 5. News of the World is now out of the top 5. John, what are your thoughts on these numbers?
I know you predicted number 1, but the weird thing that we were talking about earlier was the Croods actually went up in a percent.
Yeah, so it's been doing that here recently.
It's doing better than it was originally.
So in the script last week, I mistakenly said that it went up. It actually went down last week, but the week before that, it went up, and this week it went up.
Do you think it's because are there more theaters opening around the country, or
no?
Is it just a really good rewatch movie?
I suppose so, because nothing else is going up. So if it was a more theaters thing, everything would be going up.
It might be because it's like a child's movie.
Yeah, like it
so
could
children
be
can
because
actually watch
kids
it.
Movie. Yeah.
Unlike The Marksman, which I don't think is like a rewatching one.
The Croods definitely has the biggest legs out of this entire top 5. It's consistently, it's even gone down before and then came back up. So I think at some point it was at number 3, and then it switched places with Wonder Woman. And so, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see. We were expecting, we were talking about during the Christmas special and leading up to the release of Wonder Woman that, Wonder Woman would be the one that has the legs similar to Tenet. But honestly, it seems like the Croods is the one that's coming in. I mean, now while it's not number 1 as long as Tenet was. We never even really reported it as number 1. I don't know if it was. It could have been at some point while the show was during break. But so yeah, The Croods has been in the top 5 for quite a while and has been fairly consistent, even with rising numbers, which isn't something you usually see. You don't usually see the numbers go up. So it's really interesting to see the box office life of The Croods: A New Age. I mean, it was a very popular movie whenever the first one released. It's the sequel to that. They've got a really good cast, a really good voice cast, and it's something to bring the kids to, safely, of course. And so, yeah, and movies like Wonder Woman and The Little Things, which is number one, they also released on HBO Max, so that also has something to do with it, to where people can just watch it at home if they have HBO. So,
well, The Croods was released 2 locations. You had to pay, right, to see it instead of having a subscription like HBO Max is?
Well, I don't think it was, from my knowledge, I don't know if it was released on a streaming service. I know it was released, like, you could just, like, go and you could buy it digitally. Yeah. Like, you could buy it to own, but I don't think it was just available on a streaming service to watch with your subscription.
Because I know my family went and rented it out.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, definitely very interesting to look at there. So, we will just have to wait and see how the numbers pan out next week. Will the Croods go up even more? And, will
Wonder
some movies
Woman drop more?
Yeah, well, yeah, and what will come in, come out, stuff like that. So, moving on now, we've got some set photos here from Thor: Love and Thunder. Hello. So there is both Chris's that will be appearing in that movie, Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pine. Looks like Chris Hemsworth has definitely been preparing for this, as he is looking absolutely ginormous. And Chris Pine is there. Chris Hemsworth
Pratt.
And Chris Pratt. Thank you. I was thinking of Chris Pine from Wonder Woman. Chris Pratt. I was getting mixed up with the P's, but Chris Pratt is there as Star-Lord, and Chris Hemsworth is there as Thor, and the Guardians will be having a role in this film, because at the end of Avengers Endgame, Thor did go off with the Guardians, so it will be interesting to see how big of a role the Guardians of the Galaxy will have in Thor: Love and Thunder. But John, I mean, we're seeing photos from the set of Thor: Love and Thunder now. Are you getting excited? I mean, I love Thor Ragnarok, so I'm and with Taika Waititi still directing, I'm hoping that this next addition to the Thor franchise will be just as good. So, what are your thoughts?
Through like Endgame, Thor and Star-Lord's bickering was one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So they're constantly fighting on who's like best, and I hope it's just going to be more of that. We're just the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they're working together, but there's just constant bickering between them on who's more powerful and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, the connections with the Guardians movies and the Thor movies, because the entire Guardians of the Galaxy team is going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. So I'm wondering if Thor will become like a sort of permanent member of the Guardians of the Galaxy after this film, because as it's widely known, Jane Foster Thor is actually going to be showing up in this movie, and she's kind of the one that sort of replaces Thor in the comics once he becomes unworthy, and then Jane Foster becomes the mighty Thor, and then Thor. They had a storyline called The Unworthy Thor, and then there was 2 different things. So it'll be interesting to see if Marvel Studios kind of spins that and makes him a member of the Guardians. I honestly would love that. If they want to keep making Thor movies with Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, fine, whatever. But then keep Chris Hemsworth in the Guardians, or at least in Guardians 3. I don't know if they're going to make any more. As of right now, it doesn't seem like they are. But yeah, I mean, are you looking forward to potentially having Thor become a full-time member of the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I think that would probably be the best outcome, just because of like comedy, and they like doing that. I'm very
honestly,
confused
I feel like they could probably, both of these films, if the box office comes back the way studios are expecting it, I think both of them could potentially be billion-dollar films, with the crossover element there. I mean, obviously, we don't know if theaters are going to ever come back the way they were. So there may never be a $1 billion film again. But, in looking at what could have been in the past, like going back to normality for a second, just for a little bit, I think both of these films could be billion-dollar contenders. This is going off of Thor Ragnarok. Thor: Love and Thunder is. And it was the most critically acclaimed and fan acclaimed movie in the franchise, just kind of around the board. And Guardians is hopefully going to be including Chris Hemsworth, having that sort of Avengers crossover-ish kind of thing. I think both of these films could fare to do very well in the box office. What are your thoughts?
I also agree that they probably, if they're not like in the box office, so if like theaters don't come back, I still feel like they will probably have some sort of exclusive, and it'll still do extremely well on Disney Plus and stuff. With the story though of Thor 4, have you heard of anything about like the villain of this story?
Christian Bale is playing the villain. It's Gore the God Butcher, something like that. So I don't know if that's the exact name, but it's something similar to that. So Christian Bale will be the villain in this film, formerly playing Batman. So that's definitely interesting to see. Those are my favorite. Batman actor playing a villain in the Marvel movies, because Michael Keaton played the Vulture in Spider-Man. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do in that world. I'm actually very excited to see Christian Bale as a villain.
Me too.
I mean, if you watch American Psycho, he can definitely play a sort of really like messed up role like that. So I don't know if Gore the God Butcher is going to be as messed up as what his character was in American Psycho, but that's just kind of an example of like a more evil character. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and after this, a returning Marvel character is going to be appearing in the upcoming Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Alec has some more Batman reviews after this. Welcome back into the film reel. Moving in to some TV news now. Don Cheadle himself has confirmed that he will be reprising his role as War Machine in the upcoming Disney Plus limited series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is a sort of Captain America sequel spin-off following the two side characters in that movies. In those movies, and one of which will more than likely become Captain America by the end of the series. I don't know if we reported this on here, but the Falcon some toys were leaked showing him as Captain America. So take that as you will. But so it's interesting to see Don Cheadle coming in as War Machine in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Obviously, he does have history with these characters because he was an Avenger whenever the Avengers were a thing. And he also has his own Disney Plus show coming up. We don't know when, but Armor Wars is going to be a thing, and that's going to be starring Don Cheadle as War Machine. And Iron Man spinoff, Disney Plus is coming out with as many spin-offs as they possibly can, and I don't really blame them, because the success of WandaVision right now is proving that they can honestly, I'd be down for, have you been watching the show?
WandaVision, yeah, I've seen the first couple of episodes.
Well, the FBI agent in the show and Ant-Man, I'd be down for a Jimmy Woo show, let's just make a show about every single character that has ever shown up, I think that'd be awesome, but, so yeah, I love to see Don Cheadle showing up in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think, I'm assuming it's just going to be some sort of guest role, but what kind of role do you think that Don Cheadle will be having in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Well, first off, about the Falcon and Winter Soldier becoming Captain America. Captain America did hand his shield off to the Falcon, not Bucky.
And they've been trying to play it off like, well,
even though in the comics,
we don't really know who Captain America is going to be. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, in the comics, Bucky was supposed to be the one who gets it next.
Well,
and then Falcon takes it from Bucky.
Those are you're kind of going around like different storylines.
That's true. There was several different.
So it's not like while yes, Bucky was technically Captain America before Sam, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was Steve, Bucky, Sam.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's different storylines, different universes. So yeah, so Captain America passes down the shield to Sam, and not only in the comics but at the end of Endgame, one of the movies that takes place in this universe, and people are still trying to play it off as we don't know who Captain America is going to be. Like, come on, like.
But about Don Cheadle, both the leads for the two movies like Iron Man and Captain America, they're both no longer in the MCU very much, and so both their side characters, I wouldn't be I'm not overly surprised that they would come together. For a show, especially
if it's gonna maybe set up like Don Cheadle's show.
It probably will. I think so.
Maybe this could be a sort of backdoor pilot. Kind of teasing what's to come in his show. I mean, we don't know. It doesn't really currently have a release date yet because it was just recently announced at the Disney investor meeting back in December. So, but yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, we know that's coming in March. March March 20 something, I believe. So I think it's March 20th. So it's only a month and a half away, or almost 2 months, but February is kind of short,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I definitely can't wait to see Sam suit up as Captain America, because we know it's gonna happen. They literally set it up at the end of Endgame, and there's literally been marketing that has leaked, that he becomes Captain America. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that show.
But with how, like, in Civil War, Don Cheadle's War Machine actor and the
Sam
Falcon,
Wilson, Anthony Mackie, yeah,
they kind of,
they fought, yeah,
and something bad happened.
Yeah,
to
sure.
yeah.
That actually, you bring up a great point. That would be an interesting little thing to explore there, because
They definitely
Anthony
had bad
Mackie
blood.
or Sam Wilson, the Falcon, kind of pretty much paralyzed Don Cheadle's Jane Rhodes War Machine. So it would be interesting to see if they kind of explore that. I mean, I don't really think there's going to be any sort of animosity. I feel like that's kind of been, shoved under the rug.
I feel like there would be, like, some sort of lines, though, about it. Like,
yeah, no, I'm sure there'll be definitely acknowledgement about it, but I don't really think it's going to be a major issue in the show. Yeah. I may be wrong, but it seems like in Infinity War and in Endgame, they've kind of fixed those kind of problems. Yeah. Although they were fighting Thanos, so that's definitely a much bigger issue than their little drama there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Don Cheadle's incorporated to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And here, real quick, we've got some other news. The CW has renewed The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Batwoman here just here, I think, today. So The Flash will be moving on to season 8, Legends to season 7, and Batwoman to season 3. So, and as of right now, those are the only ones that have been renewed. Supergirl was already set to end, and Superman and Lois, this is its first season. So I'm sure that they'll probably want to wait a little bit longer, to see how that show's going to do before they go head straight into a renewal. Oh, also Black Lightning was also set to end as well. So yeah, honestly, Legends surprises me. I thought Legends was kind of on its way out, but it looks like they're going to be back, and the Flash is at least going to last as long as Arrow. So that's interesting. And Batwoman surprises me the most. I'm glad to see it, because it seems like they've kind of turned things around story-wise, but the ratings so far have been absolutely abysmal. So I like to see it. I liked that the new actress for Batwoman is actually going to get a more of a chance to actually play the role. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I had no idea that there's 7 seasons of The Flash. I watched up to like the 4th season a long time ago, and then I'm like, I feel like this is getting drawn on, and then I just stopped watching for a while, and now it's on this 8th season?
Yeah, it's renewed for an 8th, yeah.
But with the Batwoman, you said you were very impressed with the new actress. So if she does well, and if the ratings are slightly going up compared to what they were for the first season, I could see why they would want to, because especially if they have an overall story, and they need someone else in that series to have another spin-off series.
Yeah, I mean, they're constantly thinking of spin-offs, maybe even a Batman spin-off, because, Superman and Lois spin off of Supergirl. So, I mean, I'd love to see a Batman spin-off as well. But, I mean, it's interesting to see those 3 in particular get renewed, because Flash, it's been going on for a while. Legends, I didn't think they were going to really continue that one. And Batman really surprises me to get renewed this early. The season just started. And, the ratings haven't really started off very well, but it seems like they're confident in the show's future. So hopefully the ratings will go up on that one. With that being said, we're going to take another quick break. After this, Alec has his review of Batman versus Mr. Freeze, I believe. And then we've got some trailers to show you coming up.
More of the Film Reel with Alec Vaughn.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Film Reel here on News Channel 15. I'm Alec Vaughn, and I decided for this week to talk about a movie that I didn't mention 2 weeks ago in my top 5 favorite Batman movies list, or last week. And today I decided to talk about Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. Well, first off, the film was released in 1998, and it was released during like the 4th season of Batman the Animated Series, where the animators decided to animate the characters differently in the 4th season. And this movie has a lot of the old animation from like the 1st and 2nd and 3rd seasons of the animated series. The film follows Mr. Freeze in Antarctic, where his lair gets accidentally destroyed by a submarine, and so he decides to go back to Gotham City to try to find a person who can translate blood from for his wife, who she has like a different kind of type of blood. And so the only match that he can find is Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. And so Mr. Freeze captures Barbara Gordon because she has the same type of blood as his wife, Nora. And so Batman and Robin have to fight Mr. Freeze and save Barbara from Mr. Freeze. And the film has a lot of action in it. It has like a lot of sharp animation, just like Mask of the Phantasm. It's a really good movie. I would have put it in my top 5 favorite Batman movies as like an honorable mention. The same voice actor who plays Mr. Freeze is back, and Kevin Conroy stars as Batman. And whenever I think of Batman, I always think of Kevin Conroy. The film's really good with all the action and explosions in it. And yeah, that's going to do it for me here today. I just wanted to talk about Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero just because I haven't talked about it here in a couple weeks. It's a really good movie. You should go check it out. I'm Alec Vaughn. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Alec, as always, for that. And, you know, we're going to move on to the trailers now. And you know what? Whenever we started these new episodes in 2021, we tried something a little different. We tried to do these sort of reactions to the trailers and whatever. And, you know, after what has it been 3-4 times that we've done it, you know, it doesn't really work, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking over the trailers and you're trying to pay attention to one, but then you can't pay attention to the other at that point. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the original thing that we did. We're just going to play the trailers now. We're still going to keep the box office report, by the way. I love that. I think that's awesome to get more people involved and to see what's going on in the box office. So that's staying, but the new trailer segment is out. So we're just going to go ahead and play the trailers by themselves right now.
Good evening, General. Oh, wait. You're just a civilian now.
Mr. James Ford. General Ryle is requesting your inimitable counsel. No. He's offered to reinstate you. From the top. 4 hours ago, the crew of the Vander made first contact.
Stay there.
They believe we're hostile.
In the event of first contact, humanity must strike first to ensure the continued survival of our species.
Operation Cosmic Sin is now a go.
That there is a space gate. They can bring their army here.
What's the status of the Q bomb?
If we want to launch the Q bomb, we need to get into orbit.
Suits up.
That's something, huh? We didn't know whether to burn it or put it in a museum.
I'm sure they said the same thing about me.
If we leave that door open, they're gonna charge in. We can make this the kill box.
We're not gonna wait for them to bring the fight to us. We're gonna take it to them.
What we do here is easy. The hard part is living with it.
Just discovered that I may have a son here in this land. How much child support is she getting from? The king pays no child support.
No child support for 30 years and you came back? You was a dummy.
Hello, I am Hakim Jaffer, king of Zamunda. You are the heir to the throne. Yes, my father.
He's supposed to be like the prince of Wakanda.
Wakanda is a fictional place.
Not to everybody.
Zamunda is a very real nation.
I don't need no handout. Wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna pack. Okay, baby.
Presenting King Akeem's son from America.
And my mom's.
And his mom's.
Children, this is your brother.
Hey, Quine. I'm sorry I slept with your man.
This happened before we even met.
It's not like you're the first man I've ever been with.
What did you just say about the other men?
Coming to America, now it's coming to me.
I always thought that Mika was going to be queen.
A woman isn't allowed to rule Zamunda. It's the law.
Did it ever occur to you that Mika wanted to be your heir?
Would you dare banish me from my own bedroom?
How you doing, Akeem?
I'm getting it from everywhere. I have upset my family.
You must be strong.
And General Izzy would love nothing more than to take over Zamunda.
Raise it higher.
I'm a king,
Put your hands together.
I like that.
Say it again.
give me all.
It's a party over here.
I must admit, your style is foreign to my kingdom, but is impressive.
That's right. There you go. Let me hear you say, hey, ho.
Hey, ho!
No, don't do that. That's his mother.
Oh, don't you say that.
No, not to his mother.
Almost ready to become a prince.
Almost. It is time.
Ceremonial circumcision.
Bring forward the royal machete.
Machete?
They're gonna sharpen your tool, nephew.
Coming to America, now it's coming to me. I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king.
Well, on that note, I think that's all the time that we have, John, unfortunately. So, if you're just now tuning in, be sure to check us out on Facebook because every single episode is uploaded there as well in case you just are now tuning in. With that being said, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Bryce West. This is John Freeland. Have a great night.